hello and welcome to our 9th episode. We're going to draw a dungeon entrance today, which will be, done in thumbnails. Something to look out for. I still got a couple of minutes to go. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, and perhaps maybe you need to do the toilet fee. Now's your time to get go and let go. If there are any questions, you can always ask them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer them as much as we can. We don't know everything. We're not DTs or something like it. So we'll do our best henceforward. And hope you're having a good evening. Starting in about 3 or less minutes. So, and there's obviously some introductions, because we're together again with RedOneArt. It's a bit of a Monday gem, innit?
Yes, hello everybody. Hello Sansji, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good now that you're here. Haha.
Always nice to hear.
No, just took a little bit of a sip. If you haven't noticed yet, I did change the category to Dungeons and Dragons rather than art, because we blah 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 a lot about our Dungeons and Dragons, and we cannot let the entire subject go, because it's what we're actually doing and creating things for. So I thought, yeah, it's art, but the main subject is still Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
Also got, yeah.
And of course, people can always say if this is the right thing or not in the chat. We can take your advice.
Can, but we may not. Just a fair warning.
No. Mm-hmm.
I don't always stand to listen that good. I pretend I'm a good listener, just nodding a lot. You can't see me, but yeah, that's how it goes. The one time that I am actually paying a whole lot of attention and do listen very actively is during D&D. Especially as a DM, I listen very carefully to what my players have to tell me. All of their crazy, excellent ideas that I 9 out of 10 times use against them. They set the story.
Oh yeah.
Just like you do. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes players come up with the craziest ideas you never thought for yourself of as the DM. So
that is true. I think I am a wee bit more impatient than this timer is going, so I'm just gonna go and head over to it. TTRPG Art Dogs. Oh, aha. There we go. A whole lot better. If there's any musical suggestions, I'm gonna toss those into the wind for now, because we have an amazing musical artist who's doing this on, free and without copyright issues, and that's the whole thing. And that's a wee bit of a thing I'm scared of with Twitch and YouTube, to have that a bit thrown in my face and get one of those notifications like, hey, copyright claim here, copyright claim there. And I'm not looking forward to those things. Right below in my about section, you can find more about our artist who is really doing a grand job. His name is Alexander Nakarada. It's royalty free music. You can find him on SoundCloud, where else? Perhaps YouTube. So that's what's my little shout out to it is today. The artists among us that make it possible for us to have some background noise. Heck yeah. And our good loyal friends who always give us a nice watch and also the best tips. They also lately told me to enter VTuber, VTube gaming, etc. into the category, or at least into the tags, and I did. I just blatantly did. That's one of the times I do listen. So yeah, thanks for Blizzard Fox and Biomat for pointing that out.
And we already see that Biomat is back to watching our stream. Welcome.
Welcome. I've set up some emoticons, but I'll work my way to that point eventually. Have a mimic in there, you know, all of the standard D&D stuff.
Nice.
Anu, take it away, RedOneArt. Delving into the dungeon.
Let's go. Yes. So, but what dungeon are we talking about? We are talking about the Dungeon of the Dead 3. And last few sessions we had talked about some of the characters that you saw in the bathhouse before you entered the dungeon. But today it's finally the day that we are going into it. The dungeon is being discovered by Duke Van Tampa, who is a very clever woman because she managed to build a bathhouse on top of the entrance, to hide this wall system down there. She became aware of it while she was managing the city water utilities and sewer system, because she's one of the patron families in the city, and her job is the sewer and the utilities. So that's where she's getting paid for. That's why she's such a famous patron. We are today drawing the entrance, in which like you're going down in the first room you're seeing there. So a little bit of a more expression of the scene.
Yeah, we're not even going to see the first room. I mean, it's just perhaps a glimpse in the background, or really depending on the thumbnails. But last time you told me, like, I really want this entrance here, like a gateway into the dungeon.
Yes.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, because how it looks like is you're going in by the North Massage Room that we are already discussed. There's a secret room there. And how it looks like on the map from the dungeon is that there's this secret room, and there you have like immediately a corner, like going around, and there's a stairways going down towards. And the chamber at the bottom of this staircase is empty and lit and flooded with foul smelling water to a depth of 2 feet. Which we maybe gonna like a little bit spice up somewhere if we think it's interesting, if we think there are some details missing. But yeah, that is like the basic of things that we know of the entrance. Overall, the dungeon features that we're coming through in certain rooms or anything are that the dungeon rooms, corridors, and staircase are hewn from limestone and unlit, and then unless the text states otherwise. Because most of the followers of the Tetri carry torches or rely on dark vision to see in the dungeon. We're probably going to spice them up to set some scene on some places if we think that's useful. Like, for example, I would say that it's useful, like, to have a sort of lit torch or anything, or a continuing flame at the stairs.
Oh, lovely that you're just mentioning that, because that's what I'm drawing.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I think, like, in kind of stairways, especially the long ones that we're doing for the entrance, it's being useful to have, like, at least a light to see, because if you're walking with a torch and it's slippery because of maybe the water, the moist that's coming, it's not very useful to to carry a torch in the one hand and balance the other one if you're slippery. No, you want your hands free.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, yeah.
It depends. Like, we already discussed some characters that indeed have dark vision because of their abilities to connection to the dead tree. But you still have some, like, very basic on the bottom minions that still need a torch or any light. I don't know what you think about that yourself, Sanji.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you get your basic minions, and the basic minions need light. Makes sense.
Oh, and I see that Lizard Fox also entered the chat. Hello.
Ooh, hello, hello.
So, other features in the dungeon are that the corridors itself is 5 feet, but the 5 foot wide and a 8 foot high ceiling. The rooms itself are a little bit higher at 9 feet. I don't know how much we're gonna need that, probably if we are seeing some corridors in the room itself. In the rooms itself, they are often braced with wooden beams. That could be interesting, because how does the wooden beams react with the whole moist of like the sewers going in there? That's gonna be interesting. Like, are there plants
barnacles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a perfect place for barnacles. I mean, if it's real, is it really wood? Is that what they are describing?
Yes, wooden beams.
I was hoping for some elegant stone entrance.
No, but it's only like in the room, so for like...
the room. I can still have my stone entrance, right?
No, the stones and anything else like are limestone.
Yeah. No, that's why I got my references, which I'm gonna introduce a little bit later after you're done talking.
Mm-hmm. See, like the beams are there mostly to support the rooms because they're very big, of course. You can destroy them as a character. I wouldn't advise you that, but maybe it's needed somewhere in the adventure.
Do it.
Yes, always nice to destroy part of this.
Oh, I'm totally an enabler in D&D. Like, you got crazy ideas? Do it. You dead? Yeah. Why are you looking at me?
Mm-hmm. There are doors around this dungeon, and they already said that they are made of soft rotting wood because, of course, it's moist, there's water, that kind of things. There are also secret doors in the dungeon to be found, and they are carved to look like the surrounding limestone walls. But they are not very hard to discuss. You can maybe see them because it's only a DC 10 perception check, so we...
Oh, it's like the painter kind of didn't want to do the paint job and then ended up doing it halfway.
Yes, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And they said once located, the secret door pushes open easily. So I don't know if it's like a push and slide kind of thing, or that's a push that's like turning, so like half of circle turning, that kind of thing. But we can discuss about these different places where it should be needed. Also, certain areas of the dungeon are flooded with water. I already mentioned something like a little bit in the beginning, to a depth of 2 feet to make it difficult terrain. And the water that is there seeps into the dungeon from nearby sewers through cracks in the limestone. And it carries, it says, a foul stench and is undrinkable.
Yeah, have fun trying to drink that. Oh, Constitution saving throw.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And if you fail that, it's definitely puking.
Yeah, you got a couple of nice diseases that you can get. Hepatitis A, hepatitis B, poo. There's a whole range you can get from contaminated water. But first of all, severe diarrhea, and you gotta roll for how long you get that. Like, roll a d4 for the amount of hours that you're stuck on a potty.
Mm-hmm.
Or out in the open and embarrassing yourself because, hey, there might not be a potty around.
And that is the moment where you want a cleric with you who can do something about diseases or anything. That's the restoration.
Yeah, unless that cleric doesn't do that, and you're kind of stuck with a cleric who's like, what's healing?
Yeah, that kind of cleric should do sometimes as well, or if they're like more of a war cleric or anything, or a cleric of war.
I'll get into tiny details later. I mean, there's a bit of a stream going like way down the staircase here. Seeping in from
Yeah, but Sansji, do talk about like the reference that you did.
Yeah, right. I'm just gonna go zoom in on them. I'm gonna go by them briefly because I did some effort today. I'm gonna start off with the Jaida Grotto, which is a Google picture. Amazing, love it. I have no clue where it's located. I just saw it on Google and I know it's called Jaida Grotto, and I look no further. Like, okay, I love the colors. And then we have the Iceland Cave Google photo, and it just also, again, for the colors and the rock formation, I just love it. And the water being so crystal clear, it's amazing. It's not murky water, I know. And then we have some interesting things, which are Adobe stock images, which also can be found on Google. And yes, the troll snot, I know. Going on to where the Google, or at least the Adobe stock images, they have been made by an AI. And there are tells. You can also tell the difference between an artist that has been spending hours on it, or it's been done by the machine. Things don't add up when the machine does it. With the artist, it more or less does. AKA fingers, details, like patterns. But the colors and the lighting is it's really well done, so that's a good source of inspiration. Just a wee bit of a pointer here. You can see here that an arc. Oh, whoops. Next layer. I forgot I was on a certain layer. Over here we have the arc and the pillar. And this thing is supposed to connect to that, but it kind of sleeps into the background and the foreground doesn't match. So those are the tiny little details that the AI doesn't manage to work upon. Like it has background and foreground a wee bit mixed, and also the edges over here interlope, and then you don't see it going further. But it's done so darn well you'd overlook it. Anywho, there's no copyright claims or whatever on AI art. As of yet, they're still working on that, so I'd be careful. I'm just using these images as a reference. There's also the room and bathhouse. Again, a Google photo. Now, this is the one that I find most interesting. It's the London Shell Grotto. A Google picture, yes. But you can visit this place. And it looks so darn interesting. I know for sure that if I'm going to London, if I visit that place, I'm gonna go visit the London Shell Grotto. Because this entire grotto has been made out of shells. Someone took the actual bloody time to go sit there and plaster shells to the wall. I'm going to take a stroll at the beach, and what am I doing? I'm collecting seashells and cones and whatever I might find to stick it on a wall for decoration. And not just a small bit of a wall, no, an entire grotto. Must have been his life work. His or her, I have no clue, or perhaps a whole lot of them. But hey, once I visit the place, I may have more knowledge about it. But that's it for the references.
I think it's a very interesting place indeed.
Yeah, I just love this. I mean, it's what I kind of want to use for what we're doing. Like, okay, there's going to be shells attached to the wall. Because why not? Hello also for the other viewers who have decided to join up. Just color picking a little bit. Let's see, we're talking about an entrance over here, so what if... Not to entirely take the idea, just blip. Pillars. Let's add a bit of that Roman sweet structure in there. I think the pillars, a typical thing. And it's more of like a wine cellar, kind of like the old Roman times.
Baima also gave a suggestion in the chat. Don't forget the Catacombs of Paris.
Yeah, I know about them. I know all about them. A lot of skellies down there too. I'm gonna I think they're interesting, but it's really not what I'm looking for today. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry.
This
I want something more ocean themed.
Yeah, because of the water, it's definitely a
we've been doing
a
thing. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and that indeed, both the sea team is in there already. But it's also from how I read the description of this dungeon until so far, there was already part of this dungeon before, like, Miss Van Tamper found it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She is the one who discovered the dungeon, and not its creator. And that's where the interest lies. I mean, the city lies pretty close to it. The water, I think, right? At least a lot of waterfall.
That's right.
So we can go, like, not in here. Boom, boom.
Yes, we can also, like, a little bit think about, like, this dungeon was there already, so where does it, like, who lived in there before? So that could be an interesting point.
Maybe in that case, who loves, like, seashells like I do, because every time I go to the beach, I collect a whole bunch of shells, and I drag them home, and I tell my partner, my beloved one, I don't know what I'm doing, but this is for later, and I'm sure of it. I will use it at one point. And then the entire room reeks like ocean drag for I don't know how long, but I still got them. It takes a nut job to know another nut job, I guess.
That is why our friend group /D&D group is so well together, because we're all crazy there.
Yeah, all a bunch of cuckoos. Alright, just leaving it this up to here. I am going to showcase how thumbnails are made within the industry. For a brief moment, because they're not made like how I am doing it. I'm just doing it like, I'm color picking and I'm selecting. That's for people who have time. But people usually do.
Yes, but we only have 1 hour.
I know, but I'm still Bloop. It's one of let's go for some of the AI. This one over here. And copy and paste. Boop. Place that one over there. And this one right on. Oops. That's better. Might something disappear. Didn't mean to. Do that more often. One. Now we grab image number 2. Okay. Image number 2 and go flipping it. And if you think, oh, it's totally random, yes, you're right about that. It's totally random. And I'm adding random effects just to see what it does, to get a result ASAP, and then speed paint over that. Exactly what I was looking for. Maybe we're gonna go for this one normal, and I have filter, blur, and I'm gonna make that a very strong blur. I'll set stronger. Hold up. Ah, there it is. I have a menu that pops up. You can't see it on the stream, but I can. Here we go. What we did over here, we blend all the colors. Like, oh hey, that looks great. You can paint right over that. Until I'm done playing with this little thing over here. Nope. this one to normal. So I had one layer on multiply, I had one normal, and I'm going to use the same blur effect again. Motion blur. Whee! Usually this goes a whole lot faster in the industry, so they can get their results and they draw over things. As you can see, the imagination leaves already some gaps in there. I'm gonna say over here where we mark a spot. So we don't exactly end up with the exact same image. We still have something else, but we are making use of their colors and some of their basic shapes in order to create something wholly new. And people in the industry are a whole lot faster than I am because they do it on a daily basis, and I too work on a daily basis, trust me, but not in that industry. Perhaps a good thing that maybe start focusing on doing this as a daily practice. I'll get faster with it and you'll be able to enjoy a whole lot more. Aha! Here, and oh, I just love the gradients right over there. Like, very gradually. We'll sort it out. You said that it was lace stone, so there's a couple of stones, and I want some dark water and perhaps some stalagmites, something coming from the ceiling right over here, and one going up. You know, it's still a discovery that she did.
Yeah.
And here we go, something a whole new. I didn't do a whole lot according to my own feeling, but I did create a nice thumbnail. Oh yeah, I do like staircases, but I gotta practice them a little more to get them out there faster without references. Yeah, maybe to split the room over there, like, oh, gotta go this direction, or I gotta go that direction. I don't think so, though.
Good that you mentioned, actually, because if I look at the map itself, the room itself that you open up to is quite big. It is like 15 feet to the other side. That's not that big, but the width of the room is...
the width?
Yeah, the width is like 60-70 feet, which is quite well, like, yeah, around 50. But to the opposite of the staircase that you're coming down from, there's a corridor actually continuing into the rest of the dungeon.
Where?
Like 15 feet, there's the wall, the other side of the room that you are going through, and like directly opposite of the staircase down, there is the corridor continuing.
Yeah, that's a place we're not having a view on, I think, right?
Depends if you're standing on the staircase, like down on the staircase.
No, you're not down on the staircase. You still have to look. You're looking at the entrance here. I'm talking about entrance stuff.
Yeah, okay, so you're now on the staircase.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned at the beginning as well. Like, we're looking at the entrance. We're not going to go into the room yet. Because then I have different
No.
point of views that may be more interesting. Just trying to come up with some fun entrance. And you said limestone, so that ought to be interesting. I mean, or maybe there's
Yes,
something with these
limestone can
shells. Okay, that's one. I'm gonna take a bit of sip.
Maybe, like, if we're thinking about, like, this dungeon was there before. The only interest that's, like, still remaining from what was there once is that there are some sarcophagus further up into the dungeon. Some partly destroyed because of, like, old age or anything, but there's still some sarcophagus there. And there once was there like an altar anywhere. So
Yeah, but that's later on. I don't want to kind of go into many details to spoil what's laying ahead. If you get my drift.
No, but maybe we can use that information to think, like, this dungeon was there, like, before. So was it a dungeon to maybe, like, use to bury, like, very important sailors, like that kind of stuff. Maybe that's been used for inspiration, like, into the entrance.
I also want to explore the whole fact that someone built her entire bathhouse around it, so that might have something with the layout, because we're staring at an entrance to do as well. Maybe the entrance itself is untouched, but the whole pathway toward the entrance, so the environment that we are in, still leads back toward things that we already discussed. And I think that would be adding things up.
Yeah, like, it has maybe some bathhouse features indeed.
Yeah.
But because you're, like, at that point we are just beyond the secret door, right?
We are looking at the secret door. We're not beyond it. We're discovering the whole secret door. Like, this is it.
Okay,
like, oh, we found the Holy Grail kind of moment. Because no one... Like, there's only a few pictures in D&D that actually showcase the actual entrance of something you delve into. That's what I wanted to do. Like, the entrance. Like, dun dun dun.
Okay, yeah, the secret door itself is like a push and slide into the massage room. And then you're going down.
So these... Yeah, it's both. It's both, Bioma. Both. Both is good. And as for RedOneArt, I think I'm no longer following. I'm sorry.
Like, if you're, like, in the massage room, that's where you discover the secret door.
Yeah.
Probably because they haven't said a lot about how the secret door is, like, working. I think it's a push and slide, which is mostly the most most used secret door. You can, like, any dungeon master can think about anything else, which I think more so. But if you're, like, that's the literal entrance. The secret door in the massage room. If you are going through that room, through the secret door, there's, like, immediately their corridor, and, like, you're like a corridor that goes, like, 180 degrees, so that you are, like, it was going north, immediately the corner goes left and another left, and there you have the staircase going down, which opens up eventually in this open room.
Then, by your story, I mean the second entrance. Like, you're staring at the entrance to the dungeon. That one.
Yeah.
So it's not the
like
massage room where this door is hidden that you're going through. I'm actually talking about the moolah, the goods.
Like the moment right before it opens up into the room, right? That kind of point.
No, it's just looking at the main entrance, like the gate to the Underdark, like the gate to the dungeon.
Okay, there's not specifically a gate or anything.
There must be a doorway,
so
some epic door.
No, it doesn't actually need. But we can think about if, like, right before going into this big first room, there could be a gate, a door, hints to, because they changed the dungeon to a dungeon of the dead tree. So maybe like hints or anything in like another language, like Infernal or Abyssal, because most of the minions talk that language. Maybe in like a text that "Welcome to Hell" and that kind of stuff in Infernal or something. I think that could be interesting.
Like they refurbished the entire thing.
Yes. And indeed, we can make it like any kind of gate there because we haven't talked about that. We can just put it in.
Like Albert Heijn. Sorry, that is a really dull reference. There is a comedian who says, "Put it in your zakje," and I totally love that dude. It's an American it's an American comedian who takes a joke at one of the local stores in the Netherlands. FYI. And yeah, that was really out of time and out of place, but
I'm thinking about you have maybe more knowledge about there is like a text to the entrance to hell, right?
A gate to hell, yes there is. In fact, indeed, yes. By the Summits. Oh, I sound so nerdy right now.
Oh, that is okay. I searched it up. It's like it has it's a different language. I don't know. I can't pronounce that, but it's mostly translated as "abandon all hope." Yeah,
abandon all hope. And to me, it translates into please leave your suitcase to the left, and whatever remnants of hope to the right, and then step forward. There's no turning back. Thank you. It's like this airport you go to, and you're stuck in the luggage lane because you're not getting it back.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a fun thing to do with everybody who's watching, and of course we are gonna think about it. Like maybe there's like an inscription there because you talked about like little Easter eggs and things that people can discover. Like there's some kind of text there who has the same feeling, like the entrance to hell, but then maybe more to the dead tree. That people can, like if you have Infernal or Abyssal, that you can read that. We can think about what's more suitable. What do you think about that?
Yeah, could be. I mean, I would have to go into details, and I don't really. I'm not going to take time for that, to be honest. No, I can make some scribbles and make it look like, and when people wish for this to be, returned on our show, we can work on it.
Yes, that's what I meant. Like a little bit more of a discovery for the DM, and indeed, scribbles is enough because if we're not gonna write Infernal, that's like I don't know how you write it.
And I will write Infernal for you, but no one will be able to know that it is Infernal for one. Not even the creators of D&D will acknowledge it to be Infernal, because it will be scribbles. And I'll call it Infernal, and then it is and becomes Infernal. Okay. I can, however, do something more in the artistic field. Have a representation of the entrance to hell with it's slate stone. It's this limestone. Maybe they did some sculpting in their refurbishing attempts. I know it looks like nothing yet, but it might be something. Here, an old temple thing. Used to have a different function. Still some remnants. I like showing remnants of previous civilization. Ooh, that sounds harsh. Maybe hell is a previous civilization and people just didn't realize it while they stood before quote-unquote entrance of hell. Yeah, then maybe not the right time to get all philosophical.
No, actually it helped because I'm still thinking about maybe like indeed some like a text or anything that a player can discover when they are at the entrance.
Maybe this weird orange glow or some glowing moss that grows everywhere. And when players eat it, like Constitution saving throw.
Definitely, yeah.
Don't eat average. Just don't eat random weird stuff. That's lesson number 1. Unless you're a druid with a high constitution.
Yeah, then you can try.
Yeah, certainly you can try.
We had a druid in our party for like in another party, and his thing that was that he drank every liquid because he had to know what it was. Sometimes it went well, sometimes it went terrible. Same with this water, don't drink it. But you know, you always have those kind of players.
I have an ID!
What?
Sorry to yell in the middle of your lovely rant about your players.
No?
You said the dead 3. Like, I know the number. But what about tree as in a tree? Something that grows from a little plant. As a small hiccup hint to where the dead tree, har har har. So there's a dead tree, actually a dead tree, getting it, growing in that through that entrance path.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, Pun City.
Yeah, I think it's a nice Easter egg to indeed what's later coming on. They are like the players already know that they have to find the like things of the dead tree, but yeah, I think it's nice. Easter egg.
See, now it looks nothing like the original art that we used. We just stole some colors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, people, that's okay. You can actually steal colors, as long as you don't steal the initial thing. And that's why I use the blur tool. Do-do. Like a bit of a hint, like Merkel was here and he's trolling.
Mm-hmm.
Not actually giving a crap about the people that are following him. I don't think he'd even notice. Maybe perhaps notice and then decided like, oh, I'm gonna leave a message for them, a dead tree. Ha 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 ha, get it? Something stupid. I mean, to be real, if I were a deity within D&D settings, I'd likely not pay attention to my patrons after a while, because meddling, for starters, it's not nice. Even if you mean well, it always ends bad. We can teach that. We can learn that from the Greek mythology, and even from Star Trek and other shows that actually display what happens if you meddle with someone else's affairs. It really, really, rarely goes well.
Yeah.
So perhaps I just leave little puns behind, and that'd be the most I'd be doing. Like, haha, here's a dead tree, something you are used to as an environmental. So it's not a scary, spoopy artifact, but you know, just little trickling hints. Nothing holy or magical. Just a dead tree, just that. So, for the reason I don't see Merkel to be one of the most meddling deities out there. One of the more, I think Shantea would be someone to meddle in the affairs of humans far more easier than Merkel would.
Yeah, Merkel's only there at the end to collect your soul.
Yeah, he's not there to be your friend. He's not there to do anything else. He's just collecting souls. That is it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm still going back also to like the little quote, but I can't come up anything else because the quote to the entrance of hell is so good.
Yeah. As it should be. I mean, and here we go and get some water down there because the stair spirals around it. I imagine we have this lovely entrance. I'm just going as I go, making this up. This murky water covering the stairs.
Damn, do you see how fast time is flying?
Yeah, it's almost done.
Wow. I do love the color panel though. I'm really in, like, I think it suits very well.
I'm using a pillar that has fallen down, the one of the old remnants. So not actually turning this onto the cultists that are dwelling around, going past this dead tree and stuff. No, I've decided to let the entrance of hell quote be something of the past, to have players think twice before entering, or while entering. Like, oh, so people build on top of this and are using it again, but before this it has a different purpose, as maybe either more cruel or less, who knows what fate begins down there.
I think last, because the death tree itself is already really extreme what they are doing. I think it's like indeed going back to the sea theme, like whatever this place was used before, it had some connection with the sea, as like the whole city of Baldur's Gate is like also a port. So maybe this was once like a sacred place for...
You have a Norwegian film that mentions built my kingdom on top of a previous kingdom or a fallen kingdom.
That could also be fair, because that is also like immediately saying why the tree. It's of course it's going that because Merkel has some connection in this, but before there was this big tree that said like the entrance to...
Perhaps
like,
it was a town square once, an entrance to a castle, and that has been built over. So it was an entire kingdom that Baldur's Gate is built on top of.
And indeed, maybe with indeed the spell plague or anything, it's synced into the ground.
Yeah, and those souls got lost, and it became hell. And they're stuck in there around this tree. I need to zoom in. Hold up. I think I've selected the face. I'm still debating between the one beside it. Oh. Yeah, choices. Darn it. Flip. Merge. No. And copy and paste. Usually when I were an environmental concept artist, just a whole lot more than what I've been doing, but I've been practicing that for a long time and doing environments only, and I don't often do characters. Something I do.
It's nice to spice up some things.
Yeah, but if you want to work in the industry, please focus on one thing and don't go do the other, because you're wasting your valuable time. And that's something I learned the rough way. It's a big oof. Like, when you're a jack of all trades, you are a master of all and a master of none. At least you're the master of none and have the straight skills of all. But skills do not necessarily mean that you're a master. So, and the industry is always looking for masters of. You get my drift. Yeah. Sounds a bit harsh, but if you know your direction and you know what you want to draw and do for the industry, like the gaming industry, you want to be an artist, focus. Too big.
Well, actually, for anyone who is interested in how Wizards of the Coast interprets infernal writing, at the end of like Baldur's Gate: Descent to Avernus, the book, there is like a menu that you can find further up as well, in the story, and they have like a common version for it and like an infernal version, and the common one is only that for characters that can actually read Infernal, that you know the translation and can see it. But there is like the Infernal one, who is like written in the symbols that make up the Infernal writing, the script, and it looks amazing.
No, that sounds neat. That sounds very nice. Alright, let's wrap this one up. We got some staircase stuff over here. Ooh. Oh yeah, I forgot. No longer have restrictions on this. Yeah, oh, it's okay. I'll deal with that later on. Yeah, so I have no clue how this Infernal actually looks like.
No, but I thought it was more interesting for like anyone who's watching to know that there is an example of it. It's not much. It's only a menu that you can find it like in a restaurant kind of thing.
Is there some ABC in that menu, or?
Yeah, like there's appetizers and some main dishes and some desserts.
Yeah, but you can get the ABC out of it. Like A is the symbol here, or B is the symbol over there.
I think so. Yeah, I think. Yes. And some are actually visual. I can definitely recognize the A, for example. But other ones are like. Yeah, it is that I also have like the common like English translation that I can now point stuff out, but otherwise I won't see it.
Who are you?
I do love, by the way, the like the sort of in the tree stone kind of remnants of the souls.
Yeah, it's like the limestone. Like people have been working on that, probably to scare some other folks off. And to turn it into this gate of hell.
Yes. Because what we had discussed last time and the episode before, like the cultists of the Dead Tree, they're no sweethearts.
Oh no! They have a thing for how they get there, how they get into the cult.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little exception is our lovely lady from last time. She's maybe like a mild version.
Oh yeah, she's more in hindsight. I did some stuff, so she could have easily snuck in and claimed like, oh yeah, no, I did it, I did the thing, but actually she just took a corpse and thought, oh, that's a pretty face, and in her field of work, like, I'll pour gold over it if that's what you want. I mean, I have to come up with a skull. They never told me to do it when they kind of lived. They weren't explicitly, and after her, they may have become more explicit on what they mean.
Yeah, but the golden skull was for the Nightblades, which are like the
It could be.
The Baal's cultists.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, that's true.
She was from Merkel.
Oh yeah, Merkel's house.
Yeah, and she was like let in because of what she's doing, like beauty, like extending life. That's what the cultists are doing. But Merkel in the end knows that he's going to claim her soul.
Oh yeah, eventually. He's just waiting. Like, yeah, you can delay all you want. Woman, I'll come for you later. I don't have time for your squirrels.
No.
Do.
By the way, for anyone who is watching and listening, what is for you the most interesting entrance that you ever saw to any dungeon? Could be in a movie, could be in any story that you played. What stick to you?
Stuck, yeah.
Oh, stuck, yeah.
Yeah, unless you want sticky stick. I mean, that's a thing too.
Yeah, no. Like, I think personally for me, it was the dungeon entrance to Tomb of Annihilation. That one actually has art for the ones who know it. And it stick because you had to collect all these cubes to get into you. And I think that's still the most, like, the dungeon entrance that's still
A bit of a D&D thing, right? You have to collect a lot of things and cubes and keys to get into an entrance. I mean, Waterdeep has the same stuff. The exact same way. How to get into the vault? Wow.
Collecting stuff.
Collect stuff. Even though with Waterdeep they say it's up to the DM to decide, and you can roll a d6 or grab some items from the character sheet or from the sheet that they provide, but not necessarily. You can also go on a wild goose hunt, so long as there's a bit of a quest and chase to things.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the thing that stuck to me. Like you have to collect, you have to do stuff to actually go into something, into a dungeon. Because then you had to put effort in something, and then like when you finally can go into the dungeon, it is like a reward on itself. Like the door opens, you finally find it or anything. Like for you, Sansji, what is your most memorable dungeon entrance?
Yeah, good one.
You can do dungeon in the wild, like very broad sense, because like some big houses, villas could be a dungeon as well in that kind of sense.
Thus far, mine is more in the shape of an image that has been, and maybe I'm gonna get a lot of hate over this. It's been created by the AI upon me playing and tinkering around with it. And I was making up with, or at least I was putting the prompt of a wizard opening a portal. That was my prompt. And I got such a stunning view of what appeared to be a gate that I'm still baffled by it. Like, wow, the colors, the lightning, and kind of from that point onward, like, I decided for myself, like, gosh darn it, I want to be just as fast and good as the fucking AI. How do I beat it? So I began drawing more. Still doesn't take away that I am also applying for different jobs, and I'm not just applying for artistic jobs. I just want a job.
Huh. But how did you think about drawing like now a scene today? Because that's different from what we've done so far.
What I saw is completely different. It's something completely else. I mean, this is nice too, don't get me wrong. I find it nice and satisfying to work on this. But the colors, the theme, it just, I don't know, it had something so mystical, so it was... I've got no words.
Yeah, there's like indeed already a lot going on in this scene as well. You can see so much for the player and for the DM to come up with. Yeah, next time we are really diving into the dungeon. So this is the first, like, mood impression, what we maybe can suspect. And there is a lot going on in this dungeon, so don't worry that we don't do anything interesting.
No, not to worry about that. No worries. Just let me tinker a little bit more, and then I'm just... Yeah, it's 9 o'clock, time to stop. Anywho, I'm just... Beep. There we go, that's supposed to be... thumbnails are supposed to be done from a distance. You are not supposed to zoom in unless you're done and you are going to polish. Something I tried to do in the bit of the end of the show. But alas, here we are, we've arrived. And safe. Yeah. You might ask, are you going to leave this sloppy layer mess? Actually, yes. I rarely clean up my PSD files unless someone buys them. That's when I start cleaning up, like, oh ships, I'll have to, or oh shoot, I'll have to clean up.
Mm-hmm. And you can buy them. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah, you can buy them. Probably soon there will be a set price for things.
Yes, we're also talking about that stuff, kind of. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just making noise. Oh, anywho, safe. That's it. Might be fine. Alright folks, let's see if there's someone to raid. Yes. We're going to raid DFox Gaming. Starting the raid. He's playing Minecraft at the moment, and we're gonna enjoy this.
And let's see you next time.
Indeed.
Yo, Sansji! How was stream? It's Monday, of course. How you doing?